you need to be comfortable with change, and you need to be willing to adapt. And I think that's with any business.
So joining me on the line today, I've got Fil Strati from Techseek. Welcome to the call, Phil.
Thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure. Maybe tell us a bit about Techseek and what you guys do.
Techseek's been running for the last 14 years. Started off servicing residential and then moved to business, and now we're primarily just looking after small business owners between something around the 2 and 20 seats.
Yep.
We're based in Moonee Ponds, and we generally operate or support business owners operating in Melbourne's inner, northern and western suburbs.
Fantastic. So tell me a bit about, obviously with the economy the way it is, tech has become very popular for people working from home and telecommuting and really just opening up the channels of communication. What opportunities do you see for people in business right now?
Look, I think in terms of the working from home, a lot of people have had trouble embracing it, but I think given that they've had this push with COVID, it's done wonders for a lot of the software solutions that were out there that could provide the remote collaboration and communication, but they just weren't being used because there wasn't really a need. Yep. Whereas now you've got Zoom and your Dropbox and Google Drive and your remote desktop software, and every pretty much every piece of collaboration software we could use. So in terms of, for us, a lot of it has been trying to educate and train staff on how they can use these programs to continue to run the business effectively and efficiently.
Sure. Now, as people go back to work, do you think these technologies will get dropped and people will go back to normal?
No, definitely not. I think employers are starting to get more comfortable with the idea of having people work from home.
Yep.
And I guess also the prospect of starting to employ staff in different states and different countries, given that they can all, as long as they can collaborate and communicate, and they're using the software correctly, there's really no reason why things can't remain either half and half or depending on what that employee needs.
So let's move forward 5 years. How do you see the terrain in how people use IT?
Well, I think that there are going to be more and more applications or solutions that are kind of come out to keep supporting our lifestyle rather than the work itself. And I think that, yes, COVID has had quite a bit of a push with people, but it's only going to keep adapting. And so I think there's, from our perspective, we're just going to have to keep learning and changing and training on those new solutions. So that sounds exciting.
Yeah. So let me ask you on a personal note, what have you taken out of this whole COVID event?
Look, I think that you need to be comfortable with change, and you need to be willing to adapt. And I think that's with any business. But I mean, specifically with us, what I kind of consult and train and go out and do solutions-wise for customers now compared to what I did when I first started the business is chalk and cheese. So we're in a position where we have to adapt or die, basically. So, and I guess this is kind of a wake-up call to other business owners that you need to constantly be adapting in order to move forward. Otherwise, if you kind of stay stagnant and hope things are going to be okay, it's obviously not. And this has kind of been a bit of a fast track for some businesses where they have to make the decision on whether they do grow or die as a result.
Yeah, you're right. I think what we're seeing a lot of is people who are adaptable to change can cope with whether there's lockdown or no lockdown, because it doesn't matter anymore. What matters is that I can change.
Yes.
And if I can change, then whatever the rules are, they are. And I can continue my business rather than waiting for some holy grail of it.
Well, yeah, it's a case of going, instead of just complaining about what's happened and how sort of disadvantaged you are, going, okay, well, now this is something I can't control right now. Yeah. What can I do to improve my communication? How can I share files? How can I communicate with staff? How can I automate parts of my business that I had to do? What can I do at home or offsite that I used to do in the office? So really stepping back and looking at the business and making decisions based on, yes, we have these restrictions, but what are we going to do to go around them, or to what's the new keyword here? Pivoting. So how can we pivot? Yeah.
So look, it sounds like you've sort of got a handle on that. Let me ask you, you've been in business for quite a while. I think you said 14 years.
Yes.
What's the best piece of business advice you've ever received?
I think one of the interesting ones for me is if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. Right. And I think that's important for me because, especially when I'm doing going and networking and going to sort of seminars and things like that, and you know, so even surrounding yourself with other business owners, that it's important to understand that, you know, if you've gotten to that point where you think you know everything, you're obviously not. You stop learning and you stop growing. So I guess trying to surround yourself with people that are more successful or more skilled in areas that you're not is key for me, and constantly trying to, I guess, improve my own business and personal growth.
Yeah, it makes sense. Makes sense. So let me ask you, do you have a favorite blog or author in any sort of personal development or business space that you follow?
Not really, not a specific one. I do, what I tend to find is if I start to read a specific book or a blog from someone and it sort of sparks my interest, then I'll continue to follow that person. But you know, I think that with business, we kind of, as small business owners, we wear so many hats that so there's not one specific. Even though it's all business related, the business genre, there's, you know, people that are, you know, really great at marketing and sales and you know, any real aspect of the business that we can grasp onto to help us grow as a result.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm very open to any sort of development. Anything that's going to help us stay current and keep growing is good for me.
You're in a tough industry because the technology changes so fast. And I suppose
yeah, exactly. So like I said, what I knew before, I don't even teach anymore. So we try to adapt that new technology for ourselves as quickly as possible, so that then we can basically offer that advice to others. But you've got no choice. We're in the industry where you have to adapt. There's no other way around it.
Yeah, fair enough. So let me ask you one last question, Phil. What would be the number one piece of advice you'd give to someone in business right now?
I think that what I would say is, in terms of your business, that just reach out to as many other business owners as you can. We kind of tend to fall into the trap of surrounding ourselves with people that sort of doom and gloom that things aren't going well. And I think that trying to make those connections, even if it's networking or finding some joint ventures, or you know, even just speaking up to other businesses, is the best way. You know, you can, and you know, ask for help. Don't assume you have all the answers. You know, as much help as possible. And even me, like having 14 years experience, I don't know everything, and I never will know everything, because I guess even my industry keeps changing. So I'm always up for any sort of criticism or advice that people can give me, because as you know, the more you surround yourself with these people, the more you grow as a business and personally as well. So definitely ask around.
Ask around. Fantastic. Phil, thanks so much for your time today. Really enjoyed the conversation, so I appreciate your time.
No worries. Thanks for that.
Cheers.